Helen Yee here with Eyes on the Game here at Xtreme Couture, being joined by Miss Jessica I. Now, you are fighting for the title against Valentina Shevchenko at UFC 238 on June 8th. How has this camp been going? I know a lot of changes have been made.
Yeah, we're just getting ready to get close to camp, so we're not quite in like the beginning parts of it, but it's incredible. I just moved to Vegas this past month, and Eric has been incredible. He has been such a godsend in that way, and just making me feel so welcome. But letting me know that like just because I left my old team doesn't mean that I can't find new beginnings in a new team and kind of a new head coach. So he's been incredible to me.
Yeah, no, that's great. And like you said, I mean, new beginnings, right? And for the title. But can you first off kind of talk about, your history with Eric? Like, what made you decide to come here at Xtreme Couture?
So every time I've ever come to Vegas, if it was for a fight or just like, for an appearance or something, I always reach out to Eric. And Eric has always reached out to me, too. He's always been a Just Guy fan and always shot me love, when I had a fight or did something. And even when we fought Miesha, Miesha being out of Xtreme, it was always like, hey, it's for the better of the sport, and like we're always cool with each other. So when I made the decision to leave Cleveland and come to Las Vegas, I felt like this was the best place to come, and he's really made it easy for me to just make this transition.
Yeah. Now, do you see yourself doing all your camps here? Like, have you found your new home? Is that safe to say?
Oh yeah, no. This isn't just for this camp. Like, this is my new home. Xtreme is going to be my new home. The UFC PI has been incredible, and they, the entire staff over there. I think that a lot of UFC fighters don't utilize that place as much as they should, because it's absolutely incredible, and they all should.
And what about being here in Las Vegas, the fight capital, and now quickly becoming a sports capital of the world?
Yeah, I mean, it's Las Vegas. It's crazy because you think it's like always hot, like you always think of these things, but it's not always hot. There's a whole world off the strip, so it's like I get to see the whole other side of Las Vegas.
Yeah, what made you want to come to Las Vegas?
The UFC PI and Eric, like the two reasons I came was, the Bo, who does all the strength training at the Performance Institute, Clint, who does all the nutrition, their rehab facility inside there. And then, Eric, and I just most recently got to exchange, training ideas, and he's actually coming on to help me with this camp. And it's Gray Maynard, who's, originally from, Ohio too. He wrestled at St. Ed's, which is right in my backyard. So I still feel like I got a little bit of home, with it. So Gray's been a great add to it too.
And is it true? I mean, you brought some people with you though, right? Another coach with you?
Yeah, it's been incredible. My brother came with me, but my Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu coach, took this leap of faith with me. I think that we both felt like we had reached our capacities there in Cleveland, that we'd be better off just taking our talents somewhere else where maybe it was admired a little bit more and where it'd be recognized. And I feel like the both of us are really doing well, right? Like, he's a high-level competitor in Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu, but also an incredible coach. And I think that this is going to give him the confidence to know that he is a great UFC coach too. Like he just took me to a world title.
Yeah, absolutely. And when you reference the take your talent somewhere else, I just had to think about LeBron. Were you a LeBron fan?
Yeah, I'm a Cleveland fan. Like, I love the Cavs. I love the Indians. I love our football team. So, yeah, I did. My heart is always in Cleveland, but I did have to, I reached my highest, peaking level there in Ohio. I had to leave to go get, better training.
Now, I do know you are currently riding a 3-fight win streak since your return to the flyweight division, but I know this is your first run in the flyweight division in the UFC, coming off a win over Caitlin in December. You mentioned that you haven't really started camp yet, but you have been training, so is this pretty normal for you to just continue to always train before you go into a camp?
Yeah, I always have for all the past 13 years that I've been fighting. It wasn't until after the Caitlin fight that I had an even bigger falling out with some of my longtime coaches, and it caused a training gap there, right? Like, so for a good month, I wasn't training and I wasn't doing the things that I normally do for myself that keep me happy, keep me motivated. And it was hard, right? Like, it was like I now was no longer allowed to work with people that were originally affiliated with Strong Style. So I had lost all the people from Strong Style besides, Darren. Darren had no affiliation with them. And then my brother, that I was like, you know what, like, it's time to go. I'm not working out. I'm not training like I normally do. I'm putting on weight that is not going to help me in the fight. It was like, all right, it's time to go find new people that are willing to help me and get back to working out every day like I always have. And just working out, I've always loved fitness. And when things went sour with Strong Style, it started to kill my drive for working out. And I started being very depressed, and I wasn't the best Jessica that I could be.
Was it just the last fight that things started going sour?
No, it was actually before I fought Jessie Jess in Singapore. Things really had started to really go sour at that time. A couple weeks before the fight, we had a huge disagreement that we couldn't even agree to disagree, which, really caused a lot of issues. So, I left going to the Jessie Jess fight not knowing what was going to happen, if I was going to have any coaches. Even showing up with me, my one wrestling partner, Kobe Fair, actually just went with me, and we were like, hey, if this is just how we have to do it, no one shows up, then no one shows up. And one of my coaches, Alex Cooper, showed up at the time, but shortly after that, I was no longer allowed to use any of the coaches from Strong Style. I was not allowed to use anybody from Cleveland that was affiliated with Strong Style. So things got really awkward, and obviously I knew that going into the Kalen fight, winning the Kalen fight meant I got a title shot. So I went in, won the Caitlin fight. They let me use one of the Strong Style coaches again, and then after we won that fight, they told me I couldn't use anybody from there. So I wasn't allowed to use any of the coaches, allowed to have any affiliation with anybody from there, per my head coach's, my ex-head coach's decision. So that's what made it, a month after the fight, I wasn't working out. I knew I was going to be getting the title shot, and I was like, wait a minute, this is all that I've ever worked for. I can't lose this opportunity. So I called Darren and Casey, and I was like, hey, let's go to Vegas. All right, let's go to a team that wants us. Let's go to the PI where they want to help me, and let's just get out of here. This obviously this place is, not good for us anymore.
What do you think was the cause of that?
There was a cause. I'm not ready to share with everybody. Eventually I'm sure it'll come out, but the best way I can explain it is we couldn't agree to disagree with one another, and it just became kind of an ego match at that point. Unfortunately, we couldn't agree on things anymore, and what I needed as a fighter.
But I do know, because I follow you on Instagram, you were always very vocal about Stipe's fights. Are you guys still friends?
I will always support Stipe. I'm his biggest fan. I've been his biggest fan since he came into Strong Style, and we both started this journey 13 years ago because we've been doing it as long, since day one together. He was at the Caitlin fight. I adore Stipe. I wish all of them nothing but the best, but unfortunately, because me and the head owner of Strong Style are not getting along, I feel like there's a line in the sand that was drawn, that those guys don't want to cross. So I just chose to leave them all be.
But do you think he deserved that rematch against DC?
I think that Stipe, I want him to get what he wants, and if that's what he wants is the rematch, then that's what I hope that he gets.
Now, I do know, even on Twitter and social media, like you said, after the Caitlin fight, you were pretty confident and sure that you would get this title fight next. So did that come before you moved to Vegas, or did you move to Vegas and then you got the call and everything finalized?
No, I got the call before I moved to Vegas. I knew after I won that fight that it was happening. I was just hoping I could make it work in Cleveland with some of the people that I originally started with, and unfortunately I couldn't. So I feel like I already knew, right? I was just trying to make it work there, and instead of like trying to put a square into a round hole, I just said I'll just go to Vegas where I know I can start over fresh and get this chance. No matter what camp I'm with, no matter what I'm doing, my skill set doesn't change, and I've gotten 13 years of hard MMA training. I'll win that title because I deserve it and I've worked hard for it. So whoever's backing me gets to reap the benefits of it.
And I love your slogan, that I believe. But speaking of your skill set, obviously you're very well-rounded, and Valentina, a lot of people know her in her traditional kind of Muay Thai background. So how do you think you guys match up stylistically?
I think we match up, like, we're a perfect matchmaker's, dream, because we're two different people, it's two different fighters, right? So you're going to get to see, who's able to expose the other person in that way, and who's able to, dominate better with their best skill set. So I don't think one of the things that she can bring to the table, and I don't know if it's language barrier that she thinks I'm talking crap about her, but I feel like she just doesn't know how to adjust as fast as I do, and utilize all the skills in MMA, right? That's wrestling, kickboxing, boxing, shoot fighting. I think I'm more well-rounded than she is in that way, and my ability to change gears better is better than her.
But how do you see this fight playing out?
I don't like to be predicting things, because every time I predict it, I end up going all the rounds. So, we'll just see where the fight goes. I'd love to get a finish. I've been really working hard at getting stronger and faster and better. I would love a knockout, right? Like, I would love a 10-second knockout, in there, and all of a sudden just hit a straight right hand. So we're practicing for everything. We're practicing for striking, for wrestling, for grappling, for some old school kickboxing. So, wherever the fight goes, we'll be superior.
Now, what did you think of her fight against Joanna?
I haven't seen it yet. I started watching it there from that night, and I asked if I could go out and watch it, and they wouldn't let me go watch it live. So I was like, all right, I'm just going to leave, and I'll watch it as I need to. Like, that's my night, and, and that's her night. For me to go out there and focus on her, that's your win, that's your fight, you go do your thing. Like, I was focusing on my win and the happiness of the people that helped me get there. So instead of trying to continuously look forward, I lived in the moment and just let all of us celebrate that happy moment together and let her have her day.
Well, speaking of celebrating, what would it mean for you to bring the title back here?
Well, I'm going to bring it to multiple places, right?
Yeah,
The title gets to be at Cleveland because I'm Cleveland through and through. Like, I was just there last week, and but bring it home to Xtreme, like another female champ, like Miesha, like she's one of the front runners in this sport. I would love nothing more than to follow her footsteps. She's an incredible person and done some really incredible things in this sport. I would love to be able to follow in those kinds of footsteps, and maybe just take a step ahead of it, to motivate the next girl, in here to get another step ahead of me. So I just want to bring that title home to me.
Yeah, and but like you mentioned, I know a lot of changes have happened going into this title shot, but does it feel any different though for you? Like, your mentality, just knowing that, what, I'm training for a title shot and against someone like Valentina.
I'm just happier. Yeah. I lost my smile for a long time. When the split with Strong Style began to happen, I felt like I was divorcing, it was like a relationship, like you divorced your husband, and I felt like I was catching mitts with Eric the other day, and I couldn't wipe the smile off my face. And I'm sure people were like, all right, is she crazy? Or I'm just having fun again, and I'm happy again. And it's been a really long time since I've been happy. And this year's been a godsend, and I'm so thankful I survived those really hard years to make it here.
Yeah, and it is very important, and most important, I believe, to be happy. Yes, I believe. And then also, what do you think about those new UFC belts?
I love them. I love the way all of them look because I love the UFC belts. So I know everybody's all stuck on the old design. I don't even care. I just want it, right? Like, a diamond's a diamond. Maybe it's not always cut perfect, but it's a beautiful diamond. So, I mean, it's a beautiful belt.
What did you think of Amanda Nunes and Chris Cyborg's fight?
Oh, that was an incredible fight. Nunes, she's just killing it. Like, she's killing the game, man. She's doing an incredible job. She's a great fighter, and I think she goes back to, like, one of the things I love most about good fighters like that. She knows how to plug and play all the different parts of the game, and wow, she got her, man. That's crazy. That was some crazy stuff.
Do you think that Cyborg deserves that rematch?
No. I think when you lose like that, no. But again, why not let's see what happens with Holly and her first, and then if it comes back around, I'm sure Cyborg's going to hear this and get pissed off at me and then start tweeting me and be like, come up to 35, but I'll never.
Who do you think wins, Holm or Nunes?
I don't know, because this is, again, like, these are two that I think we've all been wowed before. I don't like doing predictions. I'm not good at it.
But what would you like to say to all your fans tuning in June 8th at UFC 238 for your title fight for the flyweight belt?
Thank you for staying on this crazy roller coaster ride I've taken you all on. But believe me, there's a happy ending to this crazy story, and that's me becoming one of the female goats of all time.